My name's Amy Bartu, and I have lived in Coeur d'Alene since 1967. Our family used to vacation to Coeur d'Alene from California, and I was born in Lancaster, California. Many people think I was born here because I don't tell them otherwise. And when our family used to come up, they would visit Fernan Lake. We came from a very different part of California that we lived in was very dry and desert, and this is lush and green and beautiful, and as far as our family was concerned, we had found paradise. The one time in my life that I didn't live in Coeur d'Alene was during a time when I worked for Itron as a senior project manager, and I traveled all over the country, traveled 220 days a year actually, and lived in various cities for a period of 2 weeks to 3 months, and would only come home on the weekends. And I spent those 7 years comparing every place I visited to Coeur d'Alene, and absolutely no place held a candle to Coeur d'Alene.
My name's Gary Bartu, and I'm a local physical therapist. I dropped into Coeur d'Alene in 1974, having started my professional career in Kootenai Medical Center. And my attraction to Coeur d'Alene was one, first as an opportunity to begin my career, but really Coeur d'Alene, the main Coeur d'Alene attraction is really the people.
During the time I was working for Itron, having traveled so much, I didn't feel a connection to my town, and that I was struggling with that. I really wanted to be more part of the fabric of Coeur d'Alene. So I took a summer off, and during that summer, a girlfriend, I had 4 goals. One was to volunteer, because you can't volunteer if you're never around, because volunteering is all about showing up. And I wanted to help my mother, who had just become a widow, and I wanted to learn how to cook and clean, because I hadn't done much of that in our 7-year marriage to that point, and I wanted to get a dog. So that summer, I took a sabbatical. I did get the dog, adopted a greyhound from the Greyhound Park at that time. I did help my mother in her yard and otherwise. I didn't really follow up on the cooking and cleaning thing, did I?
Close enough.
And I did volunteer, and I became associated with Idaho Drug-Free Youth. It was brand new at the time, and then they needed a director. And I had said to Gary, we've managed to live without my income for the summer. Perhaps I can go to work for this nonprofit. I'll learn how to write grants. I'll learn how to, do fundraising. We'll figure this out, and then eventually I'll get a salary. Well, I didn't realize how much I had a passion for what I was going to be doing in the world of drug and alcohol prevention. And the thing that really drove that passion, the concept of the program, is to reward kids for doing the right thing. So kids would vow to be drug and alcohol and tobacco free. They would submit to a urinalysis test to show their commitment to being drug and alcohol free, and for doing that they would receive a picture ID card that allows them to get discounts everywhere. So that was my passion, and then to be working with kids who are committed to just that personal integrity. I saw that over and over again with kids. It was inspiring. It was so fun to work with those kids, and they wanted to spread that same message. So they helped, a handful of kids who were just amazing in those early days of the program helped us to grow from 3 chapters, Lakeland, Post Falls, and Coeur d'Alene, to 73 chapters of Idaho Drug-Free Youth throughout the state. So
in the middle to late 70s, I was involved with the Coeur d'Alene Marathon, actually as a director and as a participant many times. And so I became pretty enamored with the local sports community, if you will, and that it involved so many different people. Running was very trendy at that point. It was exciting to be part of that project. And again, getting back to the makeup of the organization and the people involved, it incorporated many city and community leaders that were very fun to get to know and participate with. And then that transition for me into the triathlon community and endeavors, being involved on the board of directors for the Coeur d'Alene Triathlon, which then transitioned to the aspect of involving or attracting an Ironman race. Having participated in the event and been volunteering since its inception has been a tremendous experience. Again, the excitement to see the town wrap its arms around the event, such a healthy event, and being part of that has been exciting, but also to see other people from other communities around the country, around the world, come and experience what we get to experience every day. A story of just an experience in Coeur d'Alene that was way back when I first came, and it's in reference and perspective to what Coeur d'Alene is now. And the story is just very simple. It was an experience for me when I first realized that Coeur d'Alene was getting very busy and the traffic was becoming a problem. And this was way back in the middle 70s, 1975, the corner of Apple Way in 95. When there wasn't much there, Rosars was thinking about locating there, but there were a couple little gas stations. And Apple Way and 95 was a four-way stop. And again, now it's the busiest intersection, I think, in Idaho. But my recollection and my perspective then was this night after leaving work from Kootenai Medical Center, going north, I pulled up to the four-way stop, but I was behind two cars. And my significant thought at that time was, wow, the traffic in Coeur d'Alene is tremendous. This is unbelievable tonight.
Back in, this must have been 85 time frame, because I just met you. I was just becoming acquainted with who Gary was. And I was a part of the Coeur d'Alene Visitor and Convention Bureau at the time. It was a brand new group, the Visitor and Convention Bureau. And one thing that we were going to organize is a big event for Memorial Weekend on Coeur d'Alene Lake. And someone suggested, another local businessman, Randy Haddock, suggested, why don't we see how many people we can pull behind the Missionok down at the resort on water skis. So I had a few contacts to be able to get, so we said, let's have a goal of 100. We're going to get 100 people behind that boat. So I arranged for 100 pairs of skis, 100 ski ropes, 100 people. I'm not sure what Randy did. I don't think he got anything done on that committee.
What was his idea?
That's right. That's all he needed to give us was the idea. And then I talked to Fred Finney, who was the captain of the boat at the time. And so we had all of this organized, and the week before Memorial Weekend, where this was supposed to take place, we scheduled to have a practice run with 25 people. So it was snowing that weekend. The Saturday that we decided to do this, we pulled all the skis, the people, the ropes, etc. Fred Finney had the boat. The boardwalk, the resort, had just been built. So this was 25 years ago. And the boardwalk was brand new. Well, Fred has the boat ready. We're all behind the boat. The ropes are attached to the handrail of the Missionok. And this is going to be so exciting. This is going to be the coolest thing that's ever happened in Coeur d'Alene. And Fred started the engines. We're all sitting in the water, freezing. We have wetsuits on. And we say, hit it. And the engines of the Missionok were so powerful. We had no idea. I don't think Fred had any idea. It was so powerful that it blew our skis off of our feet. So we lost skis. People were all over the place. But the worst part was that Mr. Hagedorn was in his office watching all of this, and he called Fred and said, get those people out from behind that boat. And he had called his insurance company to verify that we were covered to do this. I think that was a detail that none of us had thought about. And so Mr. Hagedorn put the kibosh on this whole thing after all of these weeks of planning. Of course, again, nobody informed him, and we're using his vessel. So we ended up calling the gentleman who had the 11th Street Marina at the time. Not the 11th Street, the 3rd Street Marina. And he had a Boston whaler, and he said, guess what, I'll pull you guys behind this Boston. We'll just change the goal, change the idea to see how many people we can pull behind the Boston whaler. Anyway, the next weekend then, for Memorial Weekend, we had as many folks as we could. I think only 15 people could really safely be pulled behind that boat. And as it was, even that was dangerous. I think somebody almost lost a hand because we just weren't able to spread out as much. But a huge event, great idea, didn't come off.